Hey Disney friends, it's Amber with MickeyTravels. I'm back to do some regular style videos. We've got all of our trip videos finally done, so I'm back to doing some tip videos and some other things for you. I've had some people do some requests, so I've got quite a bit coming up in the future. I hope you enjoyed our vlogs, and so today the video is going to be based off of that trip. Let's take a look. I kind of separated this video into three different parts. I've got some general Disney World things that we encountered, some observations, and then some reviews to do. And then I'm going to do some Star Wars portions, describe to you what my strategy was going into it. And then lastly is going to be some of the stuff I bought while I was there. We had some dining reservations at some key Disney World locations, some of our favorites. We ate at Ohana. We ate at Be Our Guest just for dessert. We had a lunch there before. And then we had both of the Star Wars dinings, which was in our last video. So I'll put those separate. With Ohana, we had originally gone last year, and my sister had never been, and really enjoyed it. And so we decided to take Mother back to it so she could experience it. Now, the thing that we noticed that was different was that Disney has a person they buy their food products from, obviously. And if they are in disagreements with that place, they may not be buying certain types of meat. So what we learned, and we discussed this with our cast member, when we noticed, we had received, if you know the menu at Ohana, you get like chicken wings and pork and steak and the shrimp skewers. Well, they didn't have pork anymore, and it was actually grilled chicken that had replaced the pork. So it's like you got double chicken with the chicken wings and the grilled chicken. So that was something we were a little shocked about. The pork was so good there. And she just said it just depends on how things are going with the companies that they buy the food from. So they were no longer, at that point, buying pork. So Ohana had no pork anymore. For Be Our Guest for dessert, we had a 9:45 reservation. And what I had noticed was I had assumed that we could use our snack credits for the dessert there. Well, now we know you actually cannot use snack credits during the dining time at Be Our Guest. So we came in, Mom had coffee, and we had just a nice sit down, and as you saw in the video, they brought the desserts out. We had intended on using our snack credits. They do not accept them. I do recommend, if you are going to try Be Our Guest, but you can't get a reservation until really late in the evening, like what we went ahead and grabbed since we planned this so late, it is a really cool experience to be in there. They don't have the tables full at that time. There was only like 3 families in the room we were in. And we went ahead and paid cash for the desserts. Not a huge deal. So it's really cool. You still get to see the Beast. And it's easier to walk around and take pictures. So if you can't get a dining reservation for Be Our Guest, look for later times in the evening, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes before they close, and you can still experience it and maybe just have desserts. It was no problem at all when we sat down. We just told her we were just going to order dessert, and she was completely okay with it. Something else we noticed while at Be Our Guest, that is a really great viewing location for Wishes. However, if you are in the Be Our Guest area waiting and Wishes is going to start, they do escort you toward the front so you can't see the fireworks. So don't intend on hanging out there waiting, watching the fireworks, and then eating. They will take you under so you can't see the fireworks. But if you need to see fireworks and you don't want to be around the crowds, I've seen this in other videos too, if you watch the fireworks from behind the castle, you get more exposure to the fireworks. There's some in front and behind you. So it's really cool. That is where some of the debris has fallen, though, in the past. I think Sevendorf's mine train caught on fire once. So be careful, but there's really no one back there watching, and it's a one-of-a-kind experience to see fireworks in front and behind you and like 360 back there. Once again, we had learned that extra magic hours are completely worth it. We had tried to do the 24-hour party and got shot down with some storms, and the crowds were just insane. So we went back the next night, walked on to a lot of our favorite rides. So proving that again, extra magic hours for the evening at Magic Kingdom are completely worth it, even during a holiday weekend. Now, we did go over Memorial Day, and that is prime time for kids getting out of school, so we did learn our lesson when it came to trying to do the 24-hour event, but I know it was the next day after a big event, but there was still nobody there for being a holiday. So take advantage of Magic Kingdom extra magic hours. We had a day we were sleeping in, and we decided to do Downtown Disney, and then we were going to our reservations later for Hollywood Studios. So we did Downtown Disney when they opened, and we got finished with that pretty quick. I think it was our last day. So we got back to go to the buses and waited a very long time for a bus to take us back to our resort. So what we learned was that if you are trying to get transported from one park to another or from Downtown Disney to another resort before 11 a.m., you're going to have a hard time finding a bus. The buses do not start going in between all of those locations until after 11 because most of the time is being spent taking people to the parks. So if you're trying to strategize by time like what I like to do, you need to make sure you plan at least an hour in there in case the buses are running late. So we waited, I think, 30 to 45 minutes for a bus to get there, and they showed up a little after 11. So now we know that the buses are not going to be as quick as they state they are before 11 a.m. I didn't purchase the memory maker, but I book it for a lot of clients, and they always ask how it works with the attractions. How do they know where you're at in the seats? Well, we got to experience this for the first time. Once you exit off the attractions, they will have the ride photos just like most other theme parks, but you have a very limited time to scan your band tap your band to where you see your photo. There will be little Mickey Mouse icons there, and you just take your magic band and tap it to the one that is your photo. I had heard that they know where your magic band is, but we did not experience that on Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. We had to tap our bands to have the picture put onto our memory maker. And the last thing to cover that is non-Star Wars related is the Port Orleans Riverside was a great resort. That was our first time ever staying there. We had the royal guest rooms, and you can see footage of the room and the resort on our vlog videos, which are on this channel. And what we learned was, compared to the Art of Animation, which was our last day, it is much more quiet. The buses are more frequent. They do have 4 stops total at the resort. Art of Animation just had the one where everyone was up front. We didn't really have any crowded buses, and we were used to Art of Animation being packed. The only time that happened is when it was park closing at the end of Star Wars weekends. That was the one time we had to wait for a bus. Clean. The theming was gorgeous. The pools were cool. We loved the food court. And I know we were only there for a short time, but we got in what we did. My mom walked often around it, and she just raved about it. So it's probably my favorite moderate. We're going to be trying another moderate next summer, so I will be able to compare it then. But I would say for adults especially, moderates are going to be a step up from value if you're looking to get away from some kids for a while and the noise. But again, Art of Animation theming was just key and on point, and so I put that one more for kids, and moderates are going to be more for your teenage and adults. So quickly go over some of my Star Wars strategies and how I did my itinerary for Star Wars weekends. You can see on our videos we do give some tips as we go along, so I will make this brief. Some things that weren't mentioned on the video. It was extremely hot when we were there. We had fast passes for a lot of the Star Wars events, and even though we had a fast pass, we still had to wait 30 minutes in the sun. So what I would do different, I would bring an umbrella to have to stand under when I'm waiting in line in the sun, or I would invest in those little towel things to put around my neck. I'm kind of weird. I don't handle heat very well, and I sweat just going outside to get the mail. So it was kind of rough for me. My mom and sister even said it was hot. So lesson learned. I'm going to be able to prepare for that more. That was the only time we had to wait in the sun for anything. Disney is, there's shade everywhere, but I know for Star Wars weekends and for some other things, if you're going to be waiting in line for a while, plan that for just any trip, not just Star Wars. Out of the 2 dining locations we had for Star Wars weekends, we did the Hollywood and Vine Jedi Mickey's and the Galactic Dinner. Both were great. I'm not a huge breakfast eater. The food was really good. I just didn't get to eat as much. It's so much food for a breakfast that I felt like I left a lot of food there, but it was really good. And for the Hollywood and Vine, it's a buffet, so of course you eat as much as you want. I would say that if you had to choose between the 2, Galactic Dining, I think. It was more personal with the characters, and they're the actual Star Wars characters. Hollywood and Vine, we had a better interaction with them there, if you saw in our videos with Chip as an Ewok and Goofy and all of them. But there were kids screaming everywhere. It was toward the end of the night. It was very loud. Sci-Fi Dine-In is not as loud. It was dark. But if you're more the Star Wars fan, do the Galactic. If you want to see the Star Wars as the main characters, then Hollywood and Vine is your choice. food were both about equal. I was really impressed with the food at Hollywood and Vine. With it being a buffet, you know, you hear random reviews about buffets. I have all the food from that buffet on that video too, if you want to check it out. How I prepared for my Star Wars trip was I had looked up what characters were going to be there for meet and greets, and had looked at past blogs about how long they waited, and we just strategized fast passes around the parade and around the fireworks and around where the characters were going to be at. Chewbacca and Darth Vader had the longest lines. Chewbacca, people ran to go see him in the morning, and he had non-stop lines throughout the whole day. Darth Vader would be a close second. Everyone else we really didn't wait a whole lot for. Luke and Leia would probably be the other ones that had long waits. But we didn't even try Mickey in any of them because we saw them at the dining, which is another reason to get that so you don't have to wait in line. And they actually alternate, so you could only see Goofy and Donald together or Minnie and Mickey together. So once you saw Goofy and Donald, you had to go back in line to see Minnie and Mickey dressed up. A lot of the characters float around, so that was easy to find them. The shopping was great. As we stated in the video, try to do that in the evening. The mornings are very crowded. And try to fast pass some of the Star Wars shows because the lines will be crazy for them, but just prepare yourself for a longer wait with fast pass even, but you have better seats if you do that. And if you're going to get autographs for anyone, you need to be there bright and early, like 5 a.m. to meet them. We didn't even attempt that because we knew it would be crazy. If you are going to be attending Star Wars in the near future and you want to see my breakdown of how I did it by time, where we were going to be for each event, I can talk to you about that and even help you book and plan your Star Wars trip. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's talk about some of the things I purchased. Since I go to Disney so often, I don't do huge hauls of all these things I'm going to be getting, but I did purchase a couple things, and some are Star Wars related and some are just for me to have either for my classroom or just because I'm a nerd. We see these all the time while we're there. They have deals like 3 for $10. They have antenna toppers to put on your car. And we have like this ongoing joke with these ponchos. They're really hard to find the yellow ponchos with Mickey on the back anymore, but we have had them since like 1994. And so we have tons of pictures with our ponchos on. And we have a moment where we're in France and Epcot, and I decided to do my Singing in the Rain impression and actually got stuck on one of the poles. So this is just a sentimental thing. I probably won't put it on my antenna because I don't want anyone to take it. But it's cute. And then I got another one. I got Madame Leota's tombstone, since the Haunted Mansion's my favorite attraction. And it's foam. And again, I think there were 3 for $10 or 2 for $8. They're inexpensive and they're cute little trinkets to get. This wasn't a purchase, but this came with our room reservation. I like to take any little thing to keep Disney-wise, but because we stayed at the Royal Guest Room at Port Orleans Riverside, we got a letter from Princess Tiana, and it was wrapped in a scroll like this. I just thought that was really cute. And we were on the dining plan, so I got another mug for free. When you're on the Disney dining plan, these are included, and you can fill these up at resorts. They are not refillable at the parks. What we found out is if we were eating in the food courts, because you use a quick service credit, a drink is included. So we would do the bottle of water and then our meal, and then go ahead and fill these up too. So we would have the bottle of waters for the park later. I got some Madame Leota Mickey ears. These were $17.95. This is a youth size. I don't think I'll be wearing it. Actually, that's way cute. These are, they like move, just like they float around her on the ride. So I probably will just be displaying this with some of my other stuff. If you've ever seen my Haunted Mansion stuff, I have all over my house. So thought that was awesome. Anytime I see anything Haunted Mansion, I would pick it up. And now since they have that new store there, it's like Christmas shopping for me there. So, on my desk at where I teach, I have tons and tons of Disney pins. I just get one every year I go. And so this year I got a Mike Wazowski pin. I have a lot that look like these. And then Slinky Dog. These were, I think they were 3 for $15. And I only wanted 2. Go figure. Alright, some of the Star Wars stuff we got. Let's go with the things that were included with like our meals. At the Hollywood and Vine, you got these placemats that you roll into lightsabers, so you had to choose your side. The good guys or the bad guys, red for bad, blue for good. If you don't watch the movie, I'm trying to speak in layman's terms. So this was kind of cool. It was included. And so that'd be a cool scrapbooking item. Sci-fi, galactic dining. We got these glow sticks. And they say Star Wars Galactic Light Up Wand. And it has it on the wand itself. It says it. So those were pretty neat. I kept them in the bag. I'm a huge, I'm even wearing it, Ewok nerd, so it was pretty cool to see Warwick Davis there, and I didn't get the shirt there, I just actually own the shirt. But I got a stuffed Ewok to display, and it says Warwick Wicked on it. They had tons of stuffed animals at the shopping area, Darth Mall. I don't remember how much he was, I took the tag off, but he was under $20. Tell if you're trying to get an estimate. But they had like Mickey dressed up as some of the characters. Those were running $30. When we did the Lego portion, this was free. You just, at the table they had the instructions on how to make whatever they were going to do. They did X-Wings last year, so this year was the battleship, and there it is. Kind of cool that it was free. You just had to wait in line to make it. Totally worth it. I got a new lanyard for school that is Star Wars themed. On one side you've got all the good guys, and then it wraps around and it's their lightsaber, and then if you reverse it you've got the red lightsaber with all of the villains. Totally awesome, and I think that'd be really cool for me to wear as like a mood indicator for my students. Do not bother me, that kind of thing. That's that. I didn't make a whole lot of purchases this time. My mom bought a t-shirt for the event. She got a new Alex and Annie bracelet with Jiminy Cricket on it. And it's hard to buy a bunch of large things when you're going to be taking an airplane. So I did pretty well. I didn't spend a ton of money. I was really impressed. Got some new collectibles for my collection, and then just some souvenirs to help remind me of the awesome time we had at Star Wars Weekends. I actually have a gift for you guys. I was able to grab an extra Galactic Star Wars Dine-In wand that I will be giving away to one of my subscribers. So to enter to try to win this, and this will be open for about 2 weeks, just leave a comment below about who your favorite Star Wars character is, your favorite movie, anything Star Wars related, and make sure you have an account that's available for me to contact you, and we'll let you know in 2 weeks who wins. So we'll be giving away the wand from the Galactic Dine-In. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, Disney friends. I truly appreciate it. And if you need some help planning your Disney vacation, I am an authorized Disney vacation planner and would be glad to help you. My services are completely free, and my email is down below, or you can contact me on Facebook. Have a magical day. I will talk to y'all really soon. Bye.